Hi everyone, my name is Lorelei, and I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to be here with you today. Tonight, I want to talk about what's up with you and the art of being extraordinary. So, let's begin. Extraordinary is a funny word. By definition, it means very unusual or remarkable. But when you split the word up into just extra and ordinary, you get almost a completely different meaning. Weird, huh? When you think of the word extraordinary, what or who do you think of? Do you think of extraordinary inventors like Nikola Tesla and Elon Musk? Maybe you think of the Renaissance men like Michelangelo or Leonardo DiCaprio. Wait, no, Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo DiCaprio isn't a Renaissance man, but my friends would argue he is extraordinarily good looking. Maybe you think of the Founding Fathers, which happens to include Alexander Hamilton, or his extraordinary Broadway reincarnation, Lin-Manuel Miranda. Maybe you thought of Taylor Swift, Yo-Yo Ma, Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. All of these people are without a doubt extraordinary. But what exactly makes them so extraordinary? What makes anything extraordinary? Is it a result? Are you only extraordinary once you've invented flying cars or holograms? Is it an image? Are you extraordinary if you can make millions of dollars just by showing your face on the screen? Many people will say that it's a process and that you have to endure thousands and thousands of hours from early mornings to late nights in order to become extraordinary. What exactly is this threshold that we need to pass in order to become considered extraordinary? Well, yes, it is all of that. Sure, your accomplishments, your paycheck, your journey can make you more than ordinary. But what truly makes something extraordinary is you. What makes something extraordinary is what you choose to do with you. But I don't mean you as in just you specifically. I mean you as in your own universe. Yes, your own universe. Now, your own universe isn't something tangible that we can see or touch directly. It's this bio-psycho-sociocultural environment consisting of your friends, your family, your personality, your education, your ethnicity, all of those things. It's this network of connections and interactions between all the little things in life that make you, you. It's our identity. It's your own universe. And by the end of today, I will have given you what I believe to be the 3 key stages involved in the art of turning you into something extraordinary. So let's start with stage 1, identify. You need to identify your own universe. So the very first step in becoming extraordinary is being able to figure out what's up with you. Now, don't worry, I'm not asking you to do any deep soul searching to find your ultimate purpose in life, no. I just want you to take a look around and see what's filling up your own universe. I can tell you a little bit about my universe. The other day I opened TikTok and the very first thing that I saw was this. Ed Sheeran. Yes, Ed Sheeran. Is this something that I was expecting to fill up my universe? No. But is it something that I admittedly took the time to watch and is taking up real estate in my mind? Yes. Some other things, my grandma came to visit over the weekend. I just watched a whole bunch of Marvel movies and I've got a ton of AP exams going on. So yeah, those are just some of the things that are filling up my universe at this moment. So I know that these things might not seem important individually, and let's be honest, they're probably not. But what is important is being able to recognize these things. I'm sure you've heard of the debate in science and psychology called nature versus nurture. Nature being the genetic, hereditary aspects that have been an inherent part of you ever since birth, and nurture being your environment and your upbringing. Well, in your own universe, in you, it's both. You see, in psychology, social cognitive psychologists have this term called reciprocal determinism. And that's the idea that there's this ever-constant relationship between your environment, human behavior, and cognition. So my little brother, he plays 12U baseball, and he's been playing ever since he was young, and I think he's pretty good at it. I thought that this all started with his natural interest in baseball, a cognition. And because of that interest, my parents put him in a new environment, which would be his baseball team. And then because he was put in that environment, he started playing baseball more, and that became part of his behavior. See, I thought it all started with a cognition, and it just went from there. But it's not that simple. The process can start anywhere, and it can also go anywhere. I was talking to him the other day, and I realized that he originally joined the baseball team to be with his friends. In his environment, in his universe, in his kindergarten class, he saw that a bunch of his friends liked baseball, so he wanted to try it too, influencing his behavior. And then eventually, over time, he began to develop a true appreciation for the sport, actualizing an underlying cognition. So whether it's cognition, the environment, or human behavior, all of these things can influence us in a cycle that continues all throughout life as we interact with things, whether we realize it or not. So, when you're identifying your own universe, here are just a couple things that you want to take a look at. Okay? People, culture, genetics, material resources, all of these things. I could stand here and list a million things. There's a whole bunch up there. But what I want to highlight is technology, social media, the internet, the digital world, the home of Ed Sheeran. Yes, I mean, what do we call people that make a living off of being on social media? Influencers. We spend so much time on the internet that algorithms can figure out what we like and dislike through a screen. It's fascinating, but it's also dangerous, which is why I highly caution you to understand how exactly this influences us. But that's a topic for another day. Today, the main point is there are so many different influences that can impact our own little bubbles of existence, and each of them impact us differently. So, once you have some sort of conscious understanding of what's in your own universe, we can move on to stage 2, diversify you. You know, all my life, people have been telling us that we have to go up, grow up, improve, increase, level up, and participate in all of this upward motion in order to be happy and successful in life, right? We go to school, you're supposed to get good grades, you're supposed to pass all your tests, and then get accepted into a good college, and then you get a degree, and then you get a job, and then you just live your life. And going up like this is a way that's worked for a lot of people. But my question is, what about all the other directions? There are so many different ways that you can go that aren't stagnant or stressful or dictated by society. I'm not saying that going up is bad. It's a great way to go. It's just a little ordinary. So, for people, especially people my age, where we're on the verge of adulthood, and we don't know what we're doing with our lives, and everybody's just telling us to figure it out, it feels like the only way that we can go is up. But that's not true. Because if we aim too high, it just feels like we have that much further to fall. And if we reach for the stars, it feels like we might only just have our heads up in the clouds. So, why should we limit ourselves to only one path to success when we don't live in a one-dimensional or even a two-dimensional world? It doesn't make sense. Extraordinary people don't. Extraordinary people, yes, they do go up, but they also go forward and back and left and right, and then they fall down and they get back up, they flip over and they do back handsprings all throughout life. They could do whatever they want for all we care, but whatever it is, it's extraordinary. Why? Because extraordinary people aren't afraid to deviate from the norm, not afraid to travel onto a different path and take advantage of all the dimensions that surround us. Extraordinary people diversify. So how do you do this? There's lots of different ways to do it. You can expand your universe. You can grow and make it include as many things as you want. You can travel to new places. You can meet new people. You can try new things. You can earn new skills. Basically, you just want to explore until you find something that you want to be extraordinary at. And let's say you find that something already, that's great. You can also diversify there. I'm sure you hear a lot of successful people now have found a passion and they've become fixated on becoming the best at it. But you can diversify because once you find your passion, you can try different things within that area. So say you're passionate about music, you can take different music classes. You can listen to all different types of genres, including country, and you can take producer lessons. You can learn solfege. There are so many different things that you can do within that area. And the best part about diversification is that there's no set way to do it. There's no diversification handbook. You don't have to choose what you want to diversify in because you can choose a lot of things. Here's the thing. If you diversify, you're going to become more extraordinary at whatever you diversify at. And when you become extraordinary, you'll have this extraordinary understanding of it that sets you apart from others. And once you do that, you can move on to the last step, which is to glorify you. Stage 3, glorify. I can't express how important it is to celebrate yourself. Human beings are social creatures that thrive off of positive responses and feedback. In psychology, operant conditioning utilizes a system of rewards and punishments that's promoting or averting certain behaviors. So if you want to keep achieving, and you want to keep diversifying, and you want to keep becoming extraordinary, reward yourself. That's one of the best ways to ensure longevity and persistence. It's one of the best ways to make sure that you want to do this again. Diversifying is a great way to start, but glorifying is a way to make sure that you reinforce that idea. And if you glorify you, you will feel more inspired to do it again. I mean, why do we host the Oscars, the Tonys, the Grammys? Why do sports teams hand out MVPs at the end of games? Why do extraordinary developments and contributions get awarded the Nobel Peace Prize? It's to recognize, acknowledge, and celebrate all that hard work, effort, and dedication. So, if you glorify yourself, you'll find the inspiration to do it again, because being extraordinary isn't a one-time process. You don't just identify, diversify, and glorify, and all of a sudden you're extraordinary. No, it's a repetitive and iterative process. And like any art, it takes attention, time, and care to refine the art of being extraordinary. So, whenever you do something extraordinary, whether it's big or small, just make sure you take the time to revel in it, right? And glorify you. Because then you'll find the inspiration to do it again and again and again and become more and more extraordinary. Now, yes, glorify. So it's here that it's important to say that you don't have to be recognized by someone else to be extraordinary. Think of all the extraordinary people that are out there that haven't diversified and haven't done any of the things, but they're already extraordinary. Their names aren't plastered over billboards and magazines. You probably know one of those people. You could probably be one of those people, and I'm willing to bet that you already are. Because everybody has something that's extraordinary about them. The only problem is that they don't realize it. The only problem is that they don't put in the right type of effort to diversify their understanding and their reach, and they don't take the time to recognize what they've already done. So, for the people that don't realize how extraordinary we already are, just remember the 3 stages involved in becoming extraordinary. Identify, diversify, and glorify your own universe. Simple, but not easy. I'm not saying that this is going to solve all of your problems. I'm not saying that this is going to make you 100% successful and happy in life. And I'm not saying that this is some revolutionary, monumental idea that's going to change the world. I mean, I'm 16. Technically, my prefrontal cortex doesn't even fully develop until I'm 25. But I will say this. I hope that this talk and the ideas that I presented today will make your life just a little better, make you feel just a little more inspired, and help you become just a little more extraordinary. Thank you.